Okay, great. All right, I will call this public hearing to order. I'd like to recognize and appreciate that we're holding this hearing within the traditional territories of the Tishat and Hoopachassett First Nations. My name is Penny Cote. I'm the Director for Sproat Lake Electoral Area. I'd like to introduce you to the ACRD planning staff, Mr. Alex Dyer, Planning Manager, Brooke Eschuk, sorry, Planner 1, and Jason Kivas, Bylaw Enforcement Officer. Thank you for being here. This hearing is being held in the ACRD boardroom with electronically by Zoom. It is being recorded and is live streaming on the ACRD website. Would staff please provide direction on instructions on how to participate in this hearing?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I see we have one member joining, but if you are watching the live stream video on the internet and you wish to join the meeting, the details on how to connect can be found on the Zoom meeting invite document linked on the website. So I encourage you to have a look at that. We just want to quickly start off by highlighting some of the tools in Zoom that will allow you to participate in the hearing if you choose to do so. If participating online, you will have the option to turn on or off your video and mute or unmute your audio. So other meeting participants could see you and hear you. I would just ask you keep your audio muted until you are called upon to speak to reduce the background noise. There will be an opportunity to speak after staff introduce the application, and the applicants have the opportunity to present. The applicants are not here yet, but we do expect them to be here, and they'll have the opportunity to speak prior to the members of the public. So when the chair calls upon members of the public to comment on the bylaws, that we ask that you either put up your hand or call out that you'd like to speak in Zoom. Once you've been recognized by the chair, we ask that you state your name and your address, and then your comments or questions will follow. If you are in the boardroom, then the participation will be via the microphone system we have at the board table. We do not have any members of the public in the boardroom at this point. Then finally, when using the Zoom platform, there is a chat feature that's accessed from the controls on your screen if you'd like to make a comment or ask a question at any time. All of these comments will be addressed by staff when during the public hearing, so feel free to add anything when you think of it. These comments will be brought forward when the chair asks for public comments. And finally, there will be a final opportunity prior to the end of the hearing to ask any final questions or make any final comments on the bylaw. Pass back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. So the subject of this hearing are bylaws P1498 and P1499. These bylaws are applicable to Sproat Lake Campground property at 18001 Sterling Arm Road and are necessary to rezone the subject property to increase the number of campsites to 55 and to reduce the minimum lot size to facilitate a 2-lot subdivision. If you have any questions or comments about any other unrelated topic, I'd ask that you contact the regional district staff after this hearing has been terminated. Would staff now please read out the notice of the public hearing?
A public hearing for proposed development in electoral area D, Sproat Lake, has been scheduled to consider application number RD 23017, bylaws P1498 and P1499. Thursday, September 26, 2024 at 7 o'clock. Electronic call-in or in-person attendance at the Alberni Clayoquot Regional District ACRD office located at 3008 5th Avenue in Port Alberni. I need to read that. No, I don't. Okay. Bylaws P1498 and P1499 are necessary to rezone the subject property to increase the number of permitted campsites from 50 to 55 within the CD 565/567A subzone, and to reduce the minimum lot size from 1.6 hectares, 4 acres, to 1 hectare or 2.5 acres within the CD 565/567B subzone to facilitate a 2-lot subdivision. The zoning boundary between subzone CD 565/567A and B would also be adjusted. Bylaw P 1498 is a zoning text amendment bylaw to amend section 165, comprehensive development lot 565/567 district CD 565/567 in the ACRD zoning bylaw. Bylaw P 1499 is a zoning atlas amendment bylaw to adjust the zoning boundary on the property between subzones CD 565/567A and CD 565/567B within the comprehensive development lot. Oh my goodness, 565/567 district CD 565/567. The public hearing will be held by the Director for Electoral Area D, the alternate director, or the chairperson of the regional district. The board resolution making this delegation, copies of bylaws P 1498 and P 1499, and all relevant background documents are available for review at the ACRD office and are available as supplementary information on the ACRD website at acrd.bc.ca/events/26-9-2024. Planning staff are available to answer questions in person, through email, or by phone during regular office hours, 8 to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday from September 6th, 2024 to September 26th, 2024, excluding statutory holidays. Anyone who feels their interest in the property will be affected by the proposed bylaws will be afforded a reasonable opportunity to be heard. You can participate in the public hearing in person, electronically, or by phone. Full instructions to do so can be provided by contacting planning staff. In addition, participation instructions are included in the supplementary information available at acrd.bc.ca/events/26-9-2024. The public hearing will be conducted from the ACRD office located at 3008 Fifth Avenue, Port Alberni, BC. All written correspondence can be submitted to the ACRD by hard copy delivered to the ACRD office in person or by mail, or by email sent to publichearings@acrd.bc.ca. Email submissions will only be considered received if receipt confirmation is provided by ACRD staff. Written submissions can be provided at the public hearing or in advance. Written submissions provided in advance of the public hearing must be received earlier than 8 a.m. on September 26, 2024, and September 6, 2024, and no later than 4 p.m. on September 26, 2024. Submissions provided ahead of the public hearing outside of these parameters will not be included. If you have any questions, planning staff are available to provide assistance during regular office hours, 8 to 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday, excluding statutory holidays. We can be reached at Alberni Clayoquot Regional District Planning Department, 3008 Fifth Avenue, Port Alberni, BC, B9Y 2E3, 250-720-2700.
Thank you. That was a lot of information. The book of notice. So the purpose of this public hearing is to receive input, written and verbal, from any person who believes that their interest in property is affected by the bylaws. Members of the public will be allotted 5 minutes to provide their comments the first time. We will hear from everyone wishing to speak for the first time before allowing second comments. Each time a member of the public provides their comments, they will be allotted a maximum of 5 minutes. A person can come to the speaker's podium as many times as required, provided the person is providing information not previously presented at the public hearing. The board of directors will receive full minutes of this hearing before voting on these bylaws. Staff are taking minutes, then summarizing the issues raised. Please speak clearly to ensure accuracy. Would the staff please introduce the proposal?
Okay, happy to. And I will recognize that Dennis Swanson is available here, and he's representing the property owners. So thank you for joining us, Dennis. I will start with the agency referral responses. So those received noted that their interests were unaffected or recommended that the bylaws be approved subject to the conditions outlined in their responses. Those responses were received from Island Health and from the ACRD building inspection. The Island Health referral provided general comments on subdivision, drinking water, and sewage disposal. Now, copies of the agency referral responses are available for public review, with responses received as of yesterday linked on the ACRD website, and hard copies of all the referral responses available here in the boardroom. The agency responses will form a part of the public hearing report that will be considered by the board. There were no letters of correspondence from the public that were received for this public hearing. Nothing to add there. Detailing the applicant's proposal, the property owners have applied, as you've heard, to amend the zoning of their property, which is a 4.78 hectare or 11.8 acre property located on the waterfront of Two Rivers Arm and Sproat Lake. The rezoning of the property known as Sproat Lake Campground would rezone a site-specific comprehensive development lot 565, 567, or CD 565, 567 zone, which is split into two subzones that permits a mix of campground and up to 4 cottage uses. The property owners are applying now to increase the number of permitted campsites in the zone from 50 to 55 located within subzone A on the westernmost side of the property, and to reduce the minimum lot size from 1.6 hectares to 1 hectare in subzone B on the east side of the property to facilitate that the 2-lot subdivision that they intend to do. The applicants are also proposing to adjust the boundary between the two subzones in the two sections of the parcel as shown on the site plan provided. So included with the development proposal background information that we have available for you here today, linked on the ACRD website and also available here in the boardroom, is a survey plan of the property that the applicants have provided, a site plan with the campsite layout as it sits right now, a staff report detailing the proposal and site pictures and maps. The bylaws were given first reading by the board on June 12th, 2024, at which time the public hearing was delegated to be held by the area director. This rezoning includes, as you've heard, bylaw P1498, which is the zoning text amendment bylaw that would amend the wording of the CD 565/567 zone, and bylaw P1499, which is the zoning atlas amendment bylaw that would adjust the boundary between the two subzones. If the rezoning application proceeds, the applicants will be required to provide confirmation from a registered on-site wastewater practitioner that will look at the portion of the property to be rezoned in subzone B and ensure that it can accommodate on-site sewage disposal to the 1 hectare minimum allowed by the zoning. This was included as a condition of approval when the board first considered this application on June 12th, and that would be a requirement for adoption if it proceeds to that stage. I think I will leave it at that. Pass back to you.
Thank you. So at this point, would the applicant like to add anything? I see Mr. Swanson is on Zoom. Would you like to add anything?
No, I think we have it all there, Penny.
Okay, great. All right, at this time, there is no one here. Is there anyone online, or is there any email questions or?
There is one member online. You're able to unmute yourself and ask a question or raise your hand if you'd like to. If you are watching the live stream online right now and you'd like to join the meeting to participate in the public hearing, the Zoom link is in the Zoom invite document on the website where you found the live stream link. So you're welcome to do that. But otherwise, just the one member online, no comments in the chat, and nobody in the boardroom at this point.
All right. Okay, we usually have someone in the audience, so I guess we'll just move on then. If there's nothing more from the applicant and nothing more from staff, then we'll
I'm happy just to give a bit more background here on the application, because I know that we've talked about how it's changing, but I can briefly mention how we got to this point. So this site operated under a temporary use permit in 2015 and 2017 that were was issued by the board. That was to allow for up to 30 sites at the time. Then the parcel was rezoned to the comprehensive development zone in 2019, and that zone split the property into the two subzones. You've heard subzone A, which allows for the one seasonal campground of up to 50 campsites, and they're applying to increase that to 55. And subzone B, which allows the 4 cottages to be used as vacation and seasonal residences rather than the full-time residences. And that's the area where the minimum lot size would be reduced by this rezoning to allow for a 2-lot subdivision within that area, if that's what they intend to do. The property itself, as you heard, it's located on Two Rivers Arm on Sproat Lake, bisected by 2 creeks that run through the property there, outlined in the survey that has been made available by the applicants. Western side of the parcel in subzone A is where the campsites are currently developed, and the east side in subzone B is largely undeveloped. It's been operating as an unserviced seasonal campground for many years now. The development provides regulated camping on the Sproat Lake waterfront in accordance with the conditions of use outlined in the site-specific CD zone. So the other aspect of that is the development permit area guidelines, which are in place that will look at the riparian area protection from the 30-meter riparian zone along the lakefront, as well as the 15-meter riparian zones along Weed Creeks, and then a natural hazard development permit area as well that considers the geotechnical aspects of the development with the steep slopes behind it. They have development permits were issued when the campground was developed originally, and they have active development permits in place for what they have currently. There is a note in the staff report that any new development would require an updated development permit application with new QEP reports or qualified environmental professional reports, and then new professional engineering reports would be required if there's new development or subdivision or cottage development that would need to be looked at in terms of the natural hazard risk. That's all I want to say on the property, I think, and we'll leave it at that. We'll give everybody one more shot to make a comment if they'd like to.
Thank you. So Mr. Swanson, did you have anything that you'd like to add at this point?
No, I think that's covered it all, Penny.
Okay, great. And I see that Director Boyko is online, and I'm just wondering if he has any questions or if there's anyone else.
No questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, then I guess we will conclude this public hearing. So I will announce that please be advised that members of the Board of Directors cannot receive new information related to these bylaws between the end of this hearing and making a final decision on the bylaws. If any board member does so, the hearing could be invalidated and would have to be held again. So with that in mind, does anyone have any final comments? Seeing none, I call for a first time for any further representation on the bylaws. I call for a second time for any further representation on the bylaws. And I call for a third time for any further representation on the bylaws. Hearing none, I declare this meeting terminated, and thank you so much to Mr. Dyer, Ms. Askchuk, and I said it wrong again? You got it. Okay, great. And Mr. Kivas. Thank you to staff and Mr. Swanson. Thank you. And Mr. Boyko. Thank you.
Okay, thank all of you as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks
Have
for
a good evening. Bye-bye.